To cure mental disorders, a psychiatrist of the future will need to discover the causes of mental disorders, reformulate mental disorders as brain disorders, validate the brain disorders, and develop pure intervention and devices. Psychiatric diagnosis is descriptive. It is based on signs, meaning the patient looks sad, and symptoms, the patient's complaints of depression. While most clinicians agree that mental disorders are brain disorders, psychiatric diagnosis is not brain-related. The term brain is not included in psychiatric taxonomy. You don't use the term brainitis or brainosis. Without knowing exactly what is wrong with the brains of our patients, we will never be able to cure them. In recent years, we have learned a lot about the brain. For example, we know that the brain is organized as a network. We also know that the brain is organized as a small world network with clusters and hubs. We know that the small world brain organization is optimal for model-specific specialization and multimodal integration. We also know that the small world brain organization supports hierarchy with higher level processing. We know that such small world brain organization is optimal for coherent, integrated conscious experience. The brain is plastic. Neurons continually create synaptogenesis and lose atrophy connections. The plastic brain interacts with the environment. The plastic brain learns by Hebbian algorithm from the environment, creating memories. The plastic brain uses memories to create an internal representation of the environment, an internal model of the world. When adaptive, the internal model matches the environment. Differences, measured as free energy, between environment and internal representation is reduced. Once created, the internal model determines how we view the world and react to it. Experience-dependent plasticity updates continually our internal model of the world. The internal model determines how we view the psychosocial world and react to it. This is our personality style. Each of the organizational dynamics described so far can be disturbed in the brain of our patients. Network organization can be disturbed, plasticity and adaptability can be disturbed, internal representations can be disturbed. Multiple disturbances typically occur together to various extent. Each type of disturbance causes a different set of phenomenology, suffering. Disturbance to network organization generates disturbed consciousness, psychosis, and schizophrenia. Disturbance to plasticity and adaptability causes mood and anxiety disorders. Disturbances to the internal representation cause the different personality disorders. Altogether, we can begin to see the correlation between brain disturbances and phenomenology. Thus, we can begin and translate phenomenology into brain disorders. The translation of phenomenology to brain disturbances can be elaborated to form a comprehensive brain-related psychiatric diagnosis. For example, disturbances to the hierarchy, disturbances to the connectivity, disturbance to plasticity-related optimization dynamics, and disturbances to the basic configuration. Thus can be translated to disturbance of hierarchy, to delusions, hallucinations, avolition, psychosis, negative signs, mania, depression, anxiety, phobia, and personality disorders. This is how we create clinical brain profiling, a brain-related psychiatric diagnosis, translating phenomenology into a profile of brain disturbances. So we have a clinical brain profiling diagnosis which is brain-related, etiological, testable, and personalized. Clinical brain profiling diagnostic translation is available at neuroanalysis.org.il. All you need to do is enter the signs and symptoms of your patients and extract the clinical brain profiling. To read more, you can see PubMed with a few publications. To validate clinical brain profiling, CBP, a battery of various signal processing methods should be put in place. Correlation analysis, graph analysis, small world estimation, statistic parametrical mapping, and dynamic causal modeling, entropy measurements. Brain organization can be monitored continually using EEG, wireless wearables. The mental status examination can be evaluated, sensed, using wearable and monitoring of cyber activity. Thus, behavior, speech, face expression, thought, and cognition could be sensed. Sensing mental status examination can be synchronized with EEG monitoring. Coupling ongoing phenomenology changes synchronized with ongoing monitoring of brain organization will generate large data that will point to the correlations between mental disorders and brain disturbances. Machine learning will probably work here. It is predicted that machine learning alone cannot complete the discovery process and that a theory-driven approach similar to CBP will be required. Any therapeutic intervention to eliminate CBP disturbances will need a feedback loop mechanism, one that continually guides and estimates corrections, brain pacing mechanisms. Such operation will probably require a head-mounted platform, a HAT, for the therapy period sessions, a platform to support the sensory-guided intervention, an intervention engine relevant to activate remote, non-invasive mediation to correct CBP disturbances. Eventually, the entire head-mounted platform and its operation will have to be shrunk to the size of a sticker, and the brain intervention miniaturized to injectable or sniffed neural-related nanoparticles. In any case, the CBP algorithm remains. The intervention at the brain level will need to be both neurological and CBP relevant. For example, here is a predicted intervention to the interneurons of layer 5 of the prefrontal cortex for its hub network controlling effect for the whole brain organization. Good luck to us in the journey for curing mental disorders.